Hello, everybody. Good to see you tonight. Tonight we're actually, hey Jedi. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about something I actually had to deal with before, and I'm sure I've heard many others that have discussed it, but I'm sure many more that haven't even talked about it have dealt with. Where you go to see a professional or someone, or you talk to somebody a counselor or someone who has training, and you get feedback, and they kind of diagnose you with something when sometimes you know yourself that that's not the proper diagnosis. They misunderstood you, but you let them do it anyway, and then you get treated in a way that it's not beneficial to you. It's actually putting you down a path of guinea pig syndrome where you just keep on going through things that aren't properly for you. So that's what I want to talk about tonight is what to do to speak up and advocate for yourself. It's difficult to do when you're feeling kind of down already and you don't really want to talk to anybody. Then you get up the nerve to talk to someone. And unfortunately, there's another step where you have to stand up for yourself. And if you don't think they're telling you the right thing, you kick in and say, you know, hey, wait, this is not what's going on. This is what's going on. Try to explain it. And it's hard to think. So this is a difficult subject, but an important one. And hey, Jake, how are you doing? How are those mods coming along, by the way? Um, but when you go through these things and you're dealing with these, it's something that's important, extremely, extremely important because it can make your depression and anxieties worse by going through and being tested and treated and maybe get medicated for the wrong things. And then it can create other issues and spirals out of control, which is hard to, like I said, hard to do when you're thinking about everything that's going on. It keeps on going farther and farther, and you're already kind of feeling like crap. So that's where the community comes in handy because you can talk it out with somebody and then kind of get up the nerve. Realize things aren't quite even here. There we go. Sorry. Um, so if you talk to someone first, that's where the groups come in handy too, to prepare yourself and talk about what's going on, explain things in detail to each other, and they can kind of help you feel better about what you're going to say to a doctor or a counselor or a psychiatrist if it comes down to that point. That's why group therapy usually is one of the best ones because you get the most honesty out of it. And someone's going to say something that says, okay, that's what I'm feeling, and I haven't been able to explain it. That's why you go to the groups, and the online groups are really beneficial. Mallory, good to see you. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of people are going through seasonal depression and anxiety. It's that time of year, and one of the things that does get misdiagnosed, especially now with the pandemic, because now we got agoraphobia kicking in, because we're afraid to leave our houses and go out, and there's all those other things that are kicking in as well. You got to make sure you're getting the diagnosis that actually fits you as best you can. And usually you do know if it's way off. If they're guessing something and it's way off, you know it. But a lot of times we don't say anything. We just kind of go with it. And next thing you know, we're taking, like I said, a medication that actually could cause side effects or throw us into all kinds of other issues because we didn't speak up and advocate for ourselves. So I just thought it was an important time of year to bring that up. Um, how is everybody doing in chat? Has anyone else ever dealt with any of these issues? Please speak up and let us know what you've dealt with in the past. Well, maybe they didn't understand you or a loved one. I mean, it's not just for mental health. This can happen with physical health too. My son, we knew something was wrong, and they were kept telling us, and we advocated, but they kept sending us home anyway. We should have put our foot down further, and my son might still be here today. That's a fact. And again, advocate for what you believe. If you know something's wrong, especially in parents, for your children, if you know something's wrong, make sure you advocate for them. It is worth it. In the end, it's the right thing to do. Hey, Larry, how are you doing? Hey, Larry, I made a mix last night just for you. So, yeah, I made a rum driver last night with some of the new flavors. So, to go with my screwdriver I was drinking at the time. So, find things you really enjoy too. If it helps you, that, like we talked about already recently, to bringing it up, to trying to bring joy of anything you can, anything little you can remember, or you can think your way through. You can do that. Try to do something like that, like a little bit of mental gymnastics, so to speak, before you go in or when you're waiting in a waiting room waiting. Try to get yourself in a right state of mind as best you possibly can, even though if you're there, you're not in a great state of mind anyway. But do the best you can to get yourself out of the funk so you can think clearer, explain yourself well, and hopefully they will understand exactly what's going on. But if they don't understand, even if it's just, okay, I don't know how to explain it right now, but that's not it, that's okay. You don't have to have all the answers. But if you know that's not right, you need to let them know. If you feel it in your gut, that's the wrong answer, that's not what's going on with me, make sure you speak up. So for me, my therapy is for when I'm feeling down, anxious, or whatever. It's been you guys. It really has. This community, this family we've created is huge. Still testing to everybody's. Already on a fourth type of resin. See? Now that's commitment. Yeah, resin, they're not all the same. People think resin, and if we haven't done it, just like with anything, you know, if you're in the vaping community, you're thinking nicotine. All nicotines are not the same. All flavorings are not the same. All PGs and VGs are not the same. All resins are not the same. In fact, one of the important things to know about was for a safety aspect is the resin and drip tips. It has to be the proper resin because some of them you got to worry about because if that melts, that does give off fumes. That's actually not good for you. So it's a challenge. And it's the same thing when you're using 3D printed stuff. There are some things that can take heat, some plastics that can take heat, but they don't necessarily print as well. And there's ones that print really well but don't take heat, and vice versa. And there's all these in betweens, ones that are resistant to certain oils, ones that aren't. And it's just this long list of things. When you get into materials, you got to know what you're talking about and understand it. And it's a learning curve, like Jake's dealing with right now. Just like we're doing with that, apply that same thought process to what's going on if you're going in and you're having a bad day or a bad week, month, whatever, and you're dealing with severe anxiety or depression or something else in between. Mania, maybe. If you're dealing with that and you're talking to your doctor, it's trial and error. You do the best you can. You keep trying until you get it right. But you still, like, let's say in Jake's case, if he absolutely knows the resin's not going to work, you don't worry about that resin. You don't even try that resin. If you know there's something about that resin that is off for what you're trying to make, maybe it's a real soft resin that's going to crack and scratch really easily, and you already know it, you don't bother starting there. It's the same thing with your mental health. If you're going into your doctor and you know that that's not going to help you, what you're dealing with, and then you, say doctor, but it can be any specialist. Even online, if you're talking to suicide prevention, they don't always connect with you on the right level. They might not understand what's going on with you. It's possible. So it's a trial and error thing, but you narrow it down. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Don't try not to go down that route. Let them know that's not the problem. Can we try something else? Can you suggest something else or figure something out? Maybe it won't happen that day. It's okay. You're better off that than going down the wrong route and then fighting your way back from something completely different on top of what you're dealing with. What? Woke up this morning and apparently in my sleep used my pillow as a baseball bat and knocked my mat across the room and broke it. Well, you must have wanted to do durability tests so bad, Jake, you just couldn't help yourself, even in your sleep. Well, I guess that one's out. So, and stay hydrated, especially this time of year. It's not just because if you vape, but this time of year you will dry out more with the fall weather in the States. The weather tends to be drier, even when it's been snowing or raining. It's it changes it. The humidity's not the same as when it's hot. I don't know. It's just I worry. Okay, the truth of the matter is the reason why I did tonight's episode is because I have been worried because I've seen some of this happen and I know that there are people going through things and I don't want them to have to fight through an entire winter getting treated for the wrong things because they didn't speak up and explain that they just know that's not the right thing. Make sure you speak up. I don't want you to fight through an entire winter of dealing with seasonal depression, or maybe it's another type of depression. Maybe it's an anniversary type depression, which are completely different. That's a different thing. Seasonal depression, there are treatments for it. Whereas if it's like an anniversary depression that's really bugging you, then it could be that really the best medicine for that is spend time with people, talk to people, try to create new memories, new connections that'll kind of pull you out of it a little bit. Yeah, that does save some time and effort. But as you do that, you might know, and then again, if it's seasonal depression combined with the other, and that's a possibility as well, then be open to the fact it could be it. But if you feel it in your gut, that's definitely not the issue. Just please speak up so you don't wind up having to deal with more than you already have on your plate. The easiest way to get better is to not have to do as much to get there. That straight line theory, A to B. You don't go A B C because you go A B C, then you got more to go. Plus, when you get to B, maybe B might have a deep curve off that might never get back to B. It's just that whole three-way line thing. It's just that arc can create so many. It can create a lifelong fight in reality. What Nightbot just said to send out well wishes to our family. It's going through tough times. We have a few that could really use this support. Texas Mama's mother's getting better, but still, you could send some love her way. Fresh 03's dealing with his issues. Still, I don't ask him what the details and stuff are because I'm sure it's enough to deal with, but send him some love. Sloane's baby was a little early and stuff, but doing good and going to be coming home soon, hopefully. Send some love to him. You got Duchess Coils is going through a major move, and I know that it's exciting, but it's also scary when you're moving to a totally new area of the country. So send some love that way. The list goes on and on. We have a community that could really use it. We have people that are struggling because of the changes in our community. Maybe even lost their, livelihood or had to change things completely. Just send love forward. You don't actually necessarily have to talk about what the issue is, unless you and they want to. But to just let them know you care about them. That can make a big difference. If it's someone you haven't seen in a while and you miss them, do it. Stan came in a few weeks ago. We all told him it was not just me. You guys in chat did it. The people on the screen did it. Let him know that we missed him and didn't care about whether or not he was still doing the vape stuff or if he's just doing his car stuff. We just missed him. And you know what? He's been posting more ever since. We've seen him in more chats ever since. That's the type of positivity we need in the community. It brings him back because I know he was feeling down. He lost that section of his life that he really cared about. He really wanted to help people. And it was also an extra income for him, too, to have his site and everything. And to lose that's hard. So, and I'm sure he felt like he let people down when he left and stopped doing the other on a regular basis. Stopped doing his YouTube channel and stuff like that and posting about vape gear and vape stuff. But the truth of the matter is, that's not the only reason we cared about him. It's because he cared about us, and that's the type of person he is. So we need to let people know that, it's not necessarily what you do, it's who you are and what you do, like from where, or if it comes from the heart. Let these people know that you care and you're happy that they're around. So they stay around. And so they don't go end up depressed or anxious or just disappear and never hear from them again. We don't know what happened, which is even scarier. It's that same reach out to those you haven't heard from because it could be in a dark place. Yeah. Oh no, Jake. Yeah, see, he's dealing with it. That is exactly the same idea, because something didn't work out right, you had to go back and backtrack. And that's the same way it is with if you don't advocate and let people know that if you know this isn't the right treatment, don't just let them talk you into it. Don't just let them push you into it. Unless if you don't have a better option, maybe try it. That's different. If you can't think of the issue, you can give it a try. But if it's just open your eyes to it and possibly try it. But if you can come up with a better issue, or you can talk to them about it and explain to them that you're pretty sure this isn't the issue, or you are sure that's not the issue, let them know. It's extremely important. Hey, Lando. Have you ever had an instance where you've been misdiagnosed or something that made it harder for you because they just didn't, you knew in your gut it wasn't the right thing to help you, and then they kind of pushed you
Yeah,
to it?
I mean, honestly, I don't think I suffer from just plain depression. I think I have like, what's it called again? Gets mixed diagnosed with depression all the time. Forget what it's called, but I feel like I have that, even though I can't remember the name of it right now. But yeah, I personally think I have that instead of just depression because I have like mood swings. There's times where I want to wrap my hands around somebody's neck.
Yeah. Um, See that, and the thing is, if you can get your doctor or your therapist or whoever you have working with you to listen to that, it's so much more helpful. And here's the other thing: if you have the opportunity and you're in a situation where you feel like your therapist or your doctor is not doing what you know needs to be done or feel needs to be done, don't be afraid to get a second opinion or even change doctors. Even if you're used to that doctor, and I know it's hard. When you're in a depressed state, you don't want to have to deal with someone new, but it could save your life or at least make you get better quicker. I mean, you could fight the rest of your life with the same doctor, whereas you might find a new doctor that's perfect. And it doesn't mean the next doctor is the right one because new doctors is scary. You never know. You have to feel that connection, feel safe with them.
Yeah, my current doctor, I've only seen her one time, and it's because she's a new doctor. My old one, I guess, stopped working at that hospital, and but yeah, the I found what I was thinking. It's called bipolar disorder.
Oh,
That's
yep.
what I think I personally have. There's instances where I'm depressed, and then there's times where I just want to go ape shit.
The truth of the matter is, from what I dealt with when I was a counselor and stuff, most people are bipolar on some level. Most everyone is. It's when you have highs and lows. It's just the extremeness of the highs and lows. Most people in that situation, the mania is not to the point where putting them in danger. I mean, most commonly, it's spending too much money is typically your biggest danger with bipolar. Like if you feel you just get money
Well,
and you
I
just go on
have
a
no
shopping
money,
spree,
so I don't have to worry about that.
and then a lot of people bipolar is one of the most common things with the mania part is blowing all their money and then not being able to pay their bills. It's like because they couldn't control themselves. They went to a store and didn't even think about it, just got so hyper about it and just bought everything. And that happens. I mean, honestly, that can happen to
Yeah,
anyone,
tell
but
me about
it's
it.
common. And the other is the highs and lows are normal. That's like almost like what's considered bipolar, as long as it's not extreme bipolar, truthfully, is just normalcy. Most people sway up and down. So that was one of the things I did. I used to run NEBAO, New England Bipolar Awareness Association, and I did that for a few years while I was down there. And it actually, it's tough, and you do it's completely different treatment than just clinical depression. Completely different. Like originally, when I went through my depression with my son, they tried treating me as bipolar and found out, oh wait a minute, no, he's just depressed. Well, yeah, I lost my son. I mean, honestly, I kind of wonder now if I'd spoke up at the time. At the time, I just was so out of it. I didn't speak up, and this is where I'm coming from. Is this type of thing? I didn't speak up and say anything, but in retrospect, they should have known. I mean, that's doesn't that sound kind of obvious? Your son passed
Uh,
away. Would not be a good reason to be seriously depressed. I'm just common sense to me, but not all of them have common sense. I heard a boof. Oh yeah, the dog. Yeah, it's because I made a little tiny bit of noise because I was trying to center the screen because she let me know it was off center when you came on because for some reason it didn't go side to side. It went top and bottom. So, and the dog heard me move. Oh God.
There was also a truck going through at the same time.
Oh, was there a truck? I didn't see the truck. I was busy with the screen. But see, that's something you really should talk to your doctor about because honestly, there's more treatments available for bipolar than really is clinical depression. Clinical depression is
yeah,
kind of
but
limited.
thing is, every time I talk to a doctor about my depression, all they do is put try to put more pills down my fucking throat, and I'm done with medication. I mean, it never has done any good for me. It's made things worse. I mean, I've spent time in hospitals because of me misusing it, or it just made my condition worse to the point that I actually tried harming myself. I've said that in the episode where you and other dude were interviewing me about my condition and everything, and I remember talking about this. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
see
just
now that what you just said would have automatically triggered me to think it was more bipolar right there because those extremes don't usually exist with just clinical depression. Because you didn't just talk about like a depression state, like the misusing. That's more of a mania state, most of the time. That's a mania
mhm.
when you're misusing. Because you like just oh I'm feeling better, and then you just keep going and keep going, and it's like oh no, yeah. Like quite commonly, there's two things that can happen too with medications, and we're not talking just legal medications. We're talking illegal medications as well. When you're taking them, um, the addiction can either cause or enhance bipolar to an extreme extent. It can actually you could not be displaying symptoms of bipolar, and the addiction brings it out of you. And once it's out, you can't always put it back in the box. Sometimes it becomes a permanent thing, which is tough because the easiest way to treat it is a medication. But if you had problems with the medication beforehand, or the illegal medication that was similar, you get into that kind of cycle, and it's tough. It's difficult. Again, one of the best things you have to keep you more centered is a community like we have, because you can kind of talk it out. And if you're feeling really high, you kind of okay, just relax today, and you kind of hang out with your friends, or vice versa. You're feeling really down. It keeps you from feeling alone and kind of isolated, and just dive into that darkness. It feels so inviting. That's the worst part. That you know what I mean. That darkness is inviting, like just completely shutting everyone out. But then you can't climb out of it. You get stuck in it, and that's the issue. So reaching out to people really helps because all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I probably should talk to them. You just kind of feel it. There's this little tiny part of you that's like, okay. And then once you start talking, it's like you start to feel better. You start talking more, and then you come out of it a little bit. Or even if you don't respond, you're like someone cares. Okay, that's good, and then you get a little positive out of it. It's really kind of why I started doing this. I went through that. I went through that really dark spot, and nobody should have to go through it. Three Grogu's coming out. See, there you go. Now, Larry, Mandalorian here, he has a nice Grogu collection, a really nice one. And see, anything that'll bring you joy like that. If you have a collection, like you got a collection of cards, Lando, right? Say that it's a good thing to have that because it gives you something to be proud of. And because you enjoy it, it'll always give you some joy even on a bad day.
Yeah, I was gonna get some more cards and stuff, but the Walmart that we went to, they have the cards right next to a self checkout, and people use those things like it's their fucking religion or something. So I wasn't able to get any more cards or card sleeves because I have one card that doesn't have a sleeve on it because I ran out of sleeves.
Yeah, you want to
So
protect your
it's
cards. If you're a collector, you want to protect them.
oh yeah,
Just
because
like
I put them
I
in
don't think
this.
Larry takes his out of the box. I think all of his pops and everything are still original in the box.
Oh yeah, I got four of them plus my Power Rangers race car here.
I've got
And I
one
got
pop, and it's from my local vape bam for Christmas one year. I got the Night King. It's the only pop I have.
uh
But
I have two Yu-Gi-Oh pops. I have a Squirtle and I have the Flasher from either the second or first Gremlins movie.
I
Yeah,
like
I got those
Jake's
two
Jake's
or those
answer
three.
there. Realizing quick the 3D printing's a rabbit hole. Yeah, you could have just talked to DeMillan. She would have told you. Anybody gets into it, it's just like, yeah. Problem is keeping up with the amount of stuff, getting the right filaments, getting, putting the add-ons, because there's all kinds of things. And then, like I said, with the different filaments, you might need a completely different heating system or something to heat it. You might need a different, there's all kinds of different parts you can change out to make the filaments work. Maybe it might not even work on the model you get. So research before you buy one, because some of them don't do all heating filaments. Some of them are only will work on the soft ones, and there's some that only work on the hard ones, and you just got to check it all out. Yeah, pop stay in a box. Yep. But see, I'm very happy to hear that when people are doing better and dealing with things. And I do see this. Our community has been really good about that, and I haven't seen as many people like disappear. And if they do, they let you know. And a lot of times, like I'm gonna give a shout out to Ern, like his situation where he hasn't been as active, like in the Discord and stuff. But it's because he's busy and in a better state of mind. He's busy working. He's busy spending time out there with people in real life and doing stuff. That's please. It's okay. You're not around all the time. Only if when you need it. And as long as we're there when someone needs us, same thing. Yeah, you guys are amazing people. And for me lately, one of the things I've been loving is creating the new liquids and stuff, doing DIY. Actually, it's been really making me think. Constantly build. It's being creative all over again. Something I kind of like. Even running CNC machines for years and years and years, doing R&D and everything. It got monotonous. No matter how much I did or how extreme the situation, it was just monotonous. It was like, okay, I'm good at this, but yay, I'm putting in more code again after I draw a design and map it all out, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
anything when it becomes work, it isn't as enjoyable when you're doing it day in day out.
yeah.
When you're
There's times
learning,
where there's times where when I'm editing for the podcast and stuff, there's times where I'm thinking, why the fuck am I doing this? Because it's gotten to the point that I'm starting to kind of hate doing this, to be honest. Because I don't know, I just haven't had the joy of doing the podcast and editing it as I did before. I mean, I'm still doing it, I'm still going to do it. And yeah, I just haven't had much joy of doing anything podcast related lately.
yeah, see,
Not
Jake's
sure
like me.
why, but I mean, it happens
Yeah,
sadly. But
it does, especially when things are, yeah, just not either they're not working out or they're not working out the way you want it, or you just It's monotonous. The more monotonous it is. Like Jake's right now is in that. Right now he's pushing himself hard with the 3D software and he's learning. That's my favorite time of dealing with stuff when it's new, fresh, and it's all interesting. It's one thing I'm loving about the DIY is I'm realizing with all the new flavors that are constantly coming out, it's like this is a never-ending process. This is always going to have some new nuances to it that are new. And this is, you think of how many flavorings out there, every one is a possible recipe. And for me, that's
Another
like
thing,
perfect.
yeah, another thing is it makes me kind of glad that we're still doing the podcast every other week instead of every week, because I feel like how I'm feeling now about it, and if we were doing it every week, I'd probably maybe give the podcast up. So I'm thankful that we're doing it only every other week, because as of right now, I feel there's times where I've been just sitting staring at the screen, editing, background noise out or whatever, and if I had hair on my head, well, a lot more hair on my head, I'd be ripping it out.
Yep. And I get that. I actually was kind of glad when you did that because the burnout was a very much a possible factor, especially when you're having to watch two movies a week. That's not always possible. And if you haven't noticed, my schedule gets very busy very quick sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I pretty much scrapped the whole idea of us doing like a bi-weekly live version of what we do. You know, I even thought of ways of doing a live version of us talking about our favorite horror themed type of TV shows that we may have seen as we were kids or older. Because I know you've probably seen like fucking Tales from the Crypt. I mean, I own all or all 7 seasons on DVD, so obviously I've seen every episode
Yep.
multiple
Yeah,
fucking
we've
times.
talked about that. Tales in the Crypt and the Crypt Keeper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Need to bring it back.
Yep. Crypt Keeper, I'd love him to bring that back. That
They
guy's
they
hilarious.
actually did try to bring it back, but they weren't gonna put it on HBO. They were gonna put it on like TNT or some shit, so it'd be highly edited compared to. I mean, that TV show had tits and shit on it. All that could be
Yeah, yeah, it
completely
did.
gone if it's on like a TV network like that. If it's something that you can't get unless you pay for it, then yeah.
How about you,
And you
Larry?
don't
How are
need
you
it as
doing
long
today?
as it's good stories, though.
True. So, Larry, how are you doing tonight? You having a good night?
So far.
So, yeah, and oh, that's one thing we didn't bring up: stress from work. You know, as the seasons change or things change around your work schedule and who you're working with, that can change your stresses. Like
Working with,
Larry,
what's that?
I know
What's
you've
working
had.
with somebody?
Well, that's the thing. You technically were working with somebody, but they were stressing you out, and now you're not working with them. But that's got its own stress too, because now you don't have the help. So it's like, which is better? I mean, they both suck. But
This time of year, I would take no help a over somebody just being there.
yeah, it,
Oh, I have my stress reliever right here. You can see the wooden part of it right there. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but yeah, there's that stress reliever. There's another one that's made out of wood that holds my stress reliever.
tube amplifier circuits. My brain is mush. That's yeah, but that's it. I mean, there's just so much you can if you can get into a new hobby, learning something or just something that interests you, dive into it and learn about it. Even if it's something you're never going to have to actually deal with firsthand. If it's
Yeah,
interesting to you and you're finding it any enjoyment in learning about it, do it. RJ last night was in
yeah,
with me last night. We were talking about random things like, for instance, like a bug's life. The tree in a bug's life is the same tree that's is theorized to be this and looks identical to the same tree in Wally. So and things like that. We're going down that rabbit hole because you know how RJ is, man. Larry, you know how he is. We went last night, but that's just it. Doing that kind of brings you stuff out. It's a rabbit hole that can keep you going. Like right now, you got Jake going down to the rabbit hole of still dealing with resins. He's still dealing with a 3D printer. These things are, that's a rabbit hole that can last for years right there, those two things. Larry's got me deep diving down rabbit holes I never expected, like this rum driver in here. Yeah, that's, it's just these amazing things you can actually dive into. A lot of people here are from the vape community, and if you are and you're getting into DIY, that can be a rabbit hole that can pull you completely out of depression because you can create something you absolutely love or create something for a friend that they absolutely love, friend or loved one or a family member, and it's just a never-ending like positivity. Even if you have a bad mix, the worst happens, you got a mix you put on a shelf that you might not ever vape or might last later. But
No,
if you
you
watch the
hate vape
shows,
that shit.
yeah, you and I would. But the truth of the matter is, if you watch the shows, you pay attention, you keep notes, you'll get a general idea of how not to make some of the major mistakes. Everybody's gonna make a mistake with anything they do, but you won't make as many if you educate yourself. Going down the boozy route of flavors, I will say Larry has helped me a great deal to not make mistakes. So, oh, I know Joe. Yeah, Inception stuff. Why they're building tunnel systems? But yeah, see, that's a good question, and maybe I should talk to you about this one of these days too, Meter, because some of the tunnel systems they made, like especially in like UK, why? I mean, they're elaborate tunnel systems through that area. Look,
Fun.
fun, yeah, but basically they lived literal rabbit holes because they actually you could live underground underneath, like, what is it? Paris has got like ungodly amounts of tunnel systems underneath there that have been explored in hundreds of years. They don't even have
Yeah.
proper maps for all of them.
Yeah, I've seen a video being talked about online on different platforms on YouTube and stuff of people always talking about this guy that supposedly went into the catacombs in Paris and was never found. They found his camera and showed his showed what was going on, but just a clip of it, pretty much. Like, I don't know, it's maybe like about a minute long video of him just walking around these catacombs. You can see him picking up skulls and stuff that haven't probably been discovered yet. And then he just drops his camera and starts running, and they never found him because it's like miles and miles and miles
And
of
then you have
nothing, pretty
places that have
much.
like the what they call the mole people because that's where they live. Either they got down on their luck, or for some reason wanted to live there, whatever. Or a lot of times it's people with addictions that kind of that's where they feel safe and where they can stay, warm in the wintertime is down in these deep tunnels in some areas. It's like there's all kinds of that's a literal rabbit hole that we could all get into, and just learning about that, if you're feeling down, learn something new like that, then try to figure out some of it. You're not going to even, that's a perfect rabbit hole because you will never really have all the answers because they're not even all out there. So you can only get some of them, but you always get bits and pieces. So you can learn like forever. That's actually a really good one. Of course, Meter would come up with that deep thought. He found Argatha. Yeah, but yeah, just make sure you advocate for yourselves, and if you're going in to talk to someone about what's going on, same thing goes in group chats or whatever. If you feel like someone completely took you way off base, try to let them know that maybe that's not it because I know it feels rude. But at the same time, it's like the next time you talk to them, they're going to start off thinking at that point that that's the helping you, and it might not be what's actually wrong. Unless it's just talking to them and letting them talk is just helping you, because that can be all it needs. But if it's not, it's feels like it's causing you more anxiety because they keep talking about something that doesn't pertain to you. Just let them know. I mean, try to be nice if they're being nice to you, but still at the same time, sometimes you just have to advocate for yourself. And sometimes you have to advocate for the fact that maybe you're the better worker and you should have been there the whole time alone. Um, yeah, look at the pops right there. You see them now, right behind them. A lot of them. That's not even all of them.
And one of those aren't even Grogu.
I can see a Mandalorian right there.
Well, no, he's
And is he
holding
Yoda?
Grogu.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
What did you think of that one I saw, that animatronic one there I saw the other day? I sent you the
I've
video
seen
of.
him before.
Isn't that cute, though? That is expensive, but cute. Yeah. Please send some love to Fresh 03, though. Just let him know you love him. We've had it's been a rough year for him. I know he wants to be back. Don't know all the details. We don't need them. We just know that he's got a ways to go, and he's gonna need support. Just love and support. That's it. So, Larry, have you ever dealt with a misdiagnosis situation? Be it physical, it could be a physical ailment or whatever, that you've had to, where the doctor tried telling you something was wrong when you knew damn well it wasn't?
No.
No. I mean, I'm guessing you probably just told them, no, that's not it, damn it. I have a feeling that would
No,
be
I've been
Larry's answer.
lucky enough not to have major health issues.
Good. That's good. Yeah. That's absolutely true. I wanted that Grogu, but it was way too much to spend on a toy that would just sit in a
Fuck it,
box.
get it.
Well, Larry, we know you would get it because look behind you.
What?
For the price of that Grogu, it could be another VSO order. Sorry, I'm going to choose a VSO. Some of us don't have the whole line. We're still working on it. A toy? Yeah, I'll send you the video clip later. It's on my phone.
That's right. It's a fucking collector's item. Get it right.
It's a it's a Yeah, but when you won't actually take it out to replace the batteries when it dies, it just becomes an ornament. I don't know. I'm just really excited about this year. I think this year is going to be a stellar year for people helping in the community more than they have. I've seen the ones that are left in our community and the ones that are here. It's not the same. These are the core ones that care about each other. That's huge. It's back to where it was. The vape community was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, where everybody cared about each other, cared about the health benefits and helping one another. We're getting there again. With losing some of the froth on top, which is still unfortunate because that froth may be putting themselves in danger again. But there's the other part that now it's the people that care, that are sticking around, still around. I mean, Larry, you're one of them. You and Meter, bringing back the show. Zippy, bringing back, this huge things, to keep Trucker's Legacy going, keep Fresh's show going, or a mock show of Fresh's going while he's away. That's something that not everyone will do. You have to really be a special kind of person to care that much. And I have the utmost respect for everyone involved. Larry, you're on both, and you roped me into both. So yeah, but yeah, Zippy and Meter, thank you guys very much for being willing to do that, because the community needs that, needs stability. We've lost shows, some of the shows we used to watch because of the way the everything's went in the U.S. And we all felt the impact of that. And shows we watch every week is a part of our routine, and they're gone, just completely gone. That's what she said. I don't know about you guys, but my Thursday nights changed once that was gone. It's like it didn't feel the same anymore. And we see that happening. And as these shows disappear, Stan's show leaving, Tenacious TX show, it hit me, and I also knew that it hit him, which meant that I was worried. That's why it was good to see him back recently and posting again and putting videos out again, and generally being happier about it. You can see the change even from his first video from when he came back. Look back on his Instagram when he first started posting again. He kind of had that half smile, and now you see him, he's got that shit-eating grin that he has. And there's no other way to describe Stan's smile, but he gets that shit-eating grin when he's in such a good mood. So it's good to see that back. We need to pull back some of the others that are having rough times and bring them back to that point. No, you guys, and every week, you guys push me too. You, Meter, and Zippy push me every week to do something, and it's not like you really make me, but you make me strive to be better, and that's also another thing. It makes me strive to do something special. I know the savory things become my new thing, but that's because I wanted to prove it to myself that I could do it. Because once that thought was in my head, it's like I gotta see if this can be done, and I have to give Legion some credit for that, because that whole ham and cheese croissant thing is really what the trigger was for that. That was the key component to if he liked that, okay, even if it isn't great, what can we actually make? We got to be able to make something savory. And then Swaggy's coming out with these flavors: garlic, onion, basil, oregano. It's like, oh, come on, what more do we need for a sign? We can do this. What do you think, Lando? Spanish rice sound good to you?
Not in a fucking vape, no.
Honesty. See, there you go. Just advocated for himself. He didn't just take it and use it anyway. That's what we're talking about.
See, all I heard in that was send him a bottle.
Along with a llama spread sample.
I wouldn't go that far.
Llama spread sample of 1 liter.
Don't send him the bottle of jizz.
No, actually, not just a Grogu. You see those fish, the flopping fish you can get for a cat? I've really been contemplating getting a cat one of them. Although he's so lazy, he'd probably just look at it, want me to touch it and play with it. He's gotten bad.
Well, there is one Grogu out there that will walk.
Oh, I believe it. I
I
have the
follow you around.
I have the R2 that'll follow you around, or you can program it by voice command, or it can bring you. It's got a drink holder, so if you put the drink in it, it can bring it over to you, and it can play hide and seek with an infrared sensor, which is cheating because the damn thing will find you every time. But it can sense your heat signature. I mean, it's kind of what are you supposed to do? Walk around in like a foil suit just to fake it out for the damn robot? I mean, that's just not fair. And I tried. You cannot hide from that thing unless you're hiding behind something. If you hide behind a couch or something, I can't see you there, but that's about it. You hide someplace in a room and it's not completely blocked off, it will find you. There he's like, I want to play hide and seek with this. I'll prove that thing wrong. Give me avocados. Give me that. Or something like that, yeah. Learn to control your pulse enough to lower your body temp. Or hide on a chair. Nope, chair, it will do it. It'll find you on a chair. The infrared sensor does have like a 12-foot height thing. It can find you if you're standing on something. Yeah, I found that
Easy.
out.
Go easy. You go hide in the fucking attic.
Yep. Yeah, well, you hide in a different room. It can't travel upstairs. It doesn't have that capability. It's an R2 unit. It's on wheels.
Well, that's a defective unit then. It should be able to fly around.
Larry, when you design it and create it, you'll be rich. Although it'll probably catch the house on fire if it's able to fly. Just saying.
Probably.
It'll find you when you're running out of the house on fire. You're running out across the yard. Found you. It's following you. It'll also react to things like you say Darth Vader, and it'll actually squeal and like try to run away. But you say Anakin, and it gets all aw, even though it's the same damn person. Yeah, avocado by proxy. Avocado by
Although,
proxy.
from what I've heard, I'm looking forward to that fight in Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Vader round 2.
Obi-Wan Vader round 2. No, yeah, Star Wars things. If you're into Star Wars, I mean, I found this one channel that does like these little movies. They're actually really well done. I forget what the name of it is, but it's on YouTube, and it's just I keep getting notifications for them. I watch them, and it's like a Star Wars theories thing, but it's not stuff that hasn't been filled in, so it could be canon. It's not canon because it's outside of it, but it could be canon because there's no disproving most of the theories. So it's kind of like interesting, like filling in all the gaps.
Well,
Much better than they did with that movie, where they filled in the one gap and how they got the Death Star plans. Sorry, that movie was.
Rogue One was excellent. You shut up.
It was okay. It just was a
Let's be
lot
honest.
just to fill this one little gap of how it happened. I mean, we knew it happened, but we made a whole movie about it. It's like-
Yes, but do you realize that the original ending, they all live?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, they all live. It was Disney who said, "Do you see any of them in the trilogy? No, kill them all."
Seriously?
Disney got dark.
That's what happened? They killed them
Yep.
off because they weren't in the trilogy.
Yep. Yeah, because it takes place literally like an hour before the start of a new hope.
It's kind of like I do love the fact that they brought back. I'm forgetting her name right now. In Mandalorian, or the Mandalorian. Not, yeah, your movie, Larry. No, Mandalorian,
Don't worry,
where they
that's how Fred
brought back
got the name.
the the Twi'lek that Luke trained. Ahsoka. They brought her back. I was surprised because I did not expect
Ahsoka?
that from them. I did not expect them to bring her back in the Disney. I
Really?
figured they would do the same thing. Like
Really?
she's been dead.
Do you realize whose name is attached and how much he loves that character that he created?
Really?
Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's creation.
Oh, really? I did
Yeah,
not know that.
and in the Clone Wars, she never died.
No, she never died that you saw. No. She just disappeared, kind of, at the end. But it's
Oh,
just.
well, no, you see her again in Rebels.
I haven't finished Rebels yet. So I haven't seen her yet.
Yeah, she's in there.
But I did like that Disney put her in there. That actually, I was hoping something like that happened. What I didn't expect was the Boba Fett thing. I was like, wait a minute, huh? How? That part there really kind of threw me off.
You can blame Legends for that one. Because in the old books, he fucking survived. But at least they will never do how Chewie died in the old books. Will never do it.
No, they won't kill off Chewie.
No, the
Chewie's
only way that they could kill him in the books, somebody threw a moon at him.
a
That's how
moon.
he died.
A
Yes.
moon.
A
Like
moon.
like an actual moon.
Yes.
What? Seriously?
The Legend books got weird for a little bit.
And Lando's like, I'm not a Star Wars nerd. I don't know. I don't watch Star Wars. See that? Blasphemy right here. We have a blasphemist in here. No. Now, series do you like? I'm sure there's one of the series. Do you like Harry Potter?
Yeah, I got all of them on DVD. I
And
just
I'm out.
recently got the.
Yep. See, that's it. Just
Okay,
it.
bye. And
No.
yeah, I just recently got the last 4 movies on DVD because I couldn't find them for a long ass time, and then they popped up at Walmart one day, and so I grabbed them both, and because I never really watched the last 2 Harry Potter movies, I saw the very ending of the very last one when it came out because I was hanging out with my friends that liked Harry Potter as well, so I ended up watching like the last 20 minutes of the very last movie.
I'm one of those few in the gray area where I like them both okay. Whereas there's definite the Potter fans and the Star Wars fans, and they tend to. It's like the Yankees and Red Sox.
No, they
feeling.
tend to
It's-
mix.
some
They
some
tend to
do,
mix.
but there's also some that are very much oh no magic. Well, the
No.
Force technically is biological. It's not magic, but
No, Star Trek and Star Wars don't mix.
and I actually like both of them too. So I'm one of those weird people, but there aren't many. Yeah, Trekkies and Star Wars. Oh yeah, I remember we used to have the same war too. Though when I was playing Star Wars Galaxies, we hated World of Warcraft, hated it, and then when Star Wars Galaxies finally shut down, it's like, okay, Warcraft's okay. It's like because there was nothing else.
Galaxy's downfall was bringing Jedi in.
It kind of was because they OP'd the Jedi after a while. At first, they brought them in and they were kind of weak and they kind of were recluses. They had to hide, which made sense for when the time period was for the game. And then they, like, made them OP to the point where they could they could defend if they, you know how to play them. They were almost impossible to beat.
And
I
let's
had
just be
figured out
honest,
some ways as a bounty hunter. I figured out a few ways to do it, but
and let's
I
be honest,
also got
nobody should play WoW anymore. They have watered that game down so fucking much.
since Lich King. Lich King when they went to the pandas, they went cookie cutter extreme. It's just
And
anybody can load up, make a thing. I had these special trees. You can't do that anymore. It's just that's what I liked about Galaxies. I could make my own tree and make it very special, and no one had ever knew what it was. But that's just it.
Yeah.
They don't have any games like Galaxies anymore. Galaxies was amazing.
no, Sam.
Oh, is it time?
MMOs aren't a thing anymore.
Oh, it's already 7 o'clock. I just saw her do the. See, she's my timekeeper. I don't have a Jeremy V. I got a Lady Liberty. Because
Eddie motherfucking Tooney.
Addy Tooney, I love that man. He's just actually I love his construct because he's obviously an AI, and what we see is a construct of his AI because there's no human could put that many links out that fast. So
No,
that
he'll be on Sunday. Don't worry.
his construct will be there Sunday. Yeah.
No, he will be on Sunday.
But no,
The
he just
creator of the construct will be on.
he's I love Addy. He's like seriously the hashtag be more like Addy or be like Addy is real. He's been around doing this, being a kind significant person in our community for a decade. So there's not many that can claim that. It just aren't. Always being as positive as he possibly can be, trying to help out whenever he can. It's just. And many of us have looked up to that and actually tried to emulate it in as best we can. Yeah. And just, yeah, hashtag be more like Addie. No, no, I don't know. It's just enjoy what you can, do whatever you can, and make memories of things that you enjoy. While right now, like if you don't mind fall as much and you hate winter, make some really good fall memories. It can be a Zoom meeting, maybe like we've actually usually at the after shows and stuff at night on some of the channels we sit and hang out. I mean, those memories for me are going to help me get through the winter on those rough days when I'm near the anniversaries. I know they're going to because we become family, and that's the way I want it to be. I love the fact that my family's grown. I am closer to you guys than I am 99% of my actual blood family. So it's not because I don't like my blood family. It's just that they went their own way. I went my own way, and I don't agree with a lot of the things they do and say. So it's like, okay. You're still family, but you stay there. They'll come to me if they need help. That's usually what happens. That's been that way my whole life. So, yep, there you go. Thank you for the links, Addie. Always great. And tune into Nick tonight, Graham Green tonight. He made it back from his trip. He went on that trip. He was he had those delayed flights thing. He had to stay a couple extra days in Houston because of the Southwest airline fiasco thing, which has 600.
The weather.
The weather that didn't shut down anyone else, and then it was the strike that. Yeah, but they had the half off discounted plane tickets. They're trying to fill planes, couldn't afford the gas. I'm guessing this is what really happened. They couldn't afford the gas to run the plane to actually make a profit, so they grounded their planes until they could fill them up. Yeah, that's the most logical anyway. That makes sense. I mean, you got to make money or you're going to go out of business. They took a gamble hoping they could fill up the planes, and it didn't work out. If the plane is full with half off tickets, you still make more money than if it's less than half full with full price tickets. So the gamble is worth it, but it didn't work out. Who here loves to fly?
I haven't flown in a while.
I've never been on a commercial flight. Seaplane once, helicopter 3 times. That's it. So
I don't think I've been on a plane in 8 years.
Wow. I don't know. It's just. And safe travels to Duchess, too, by the way, who's traveling across the country right now. That's.
Yeah, he's in Ohio right now. I saw him earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been giving me updates every now and then where he's at. It's actually pretty awesome. I'm glad he's traveling. Just that, I mean, you can worry a little bit because when you travel, anything can happen. Flat tire.
Yeah,
you drive it.
He was there with Will. He was there with Ryan, of course. Mike Mimosa.
DC.
Even our boy Corey, aka Poonsauce McNasty, is there too. I think he's there for maybe another week or so, and then he's going back to Illinois.
Plains of the Devil. Anybody else think of Waterboy there? Plains of the Devil.
Not wrong, which is why I'm never gonna step in one.
Ben Franklin didn't invent electricity. I did. Yeah. That overtop humor. It's what we need. Have fun with it. Enjoy your life. Don't just tie yourself down to these just always being serious. You need a little bit of time. That's why Saturday's show is the gaming night, because how much serious stuff do we have to talk about on a regular basis? Like even on the shows lately, Larry, we get into every now and then, especially on Tuesday nights, we usually get in some advocacy because it's there. It's a problem. It is scary. And honestly, I think all of us don't like to really touch on it too much because it's all still up in the air and what's actually going to happen. And that's even worse because anxiety of fear of the unknown is actually worse than what we know. I'd rather deal with what we know than scared of what might happen we don't know. And so I've been trying to save my energy for when we know because if I get into it now, I'm going to burn myself out. And then when it comes time to actually do something, I don't have anything left. Yeah. So, do you have anything? Did you make anything special this week, Larry, that I didn't catch? Just random, just for enjoyment. Did you make any mixes that was just for
Nope,
enjoyment?
I'm saving that all for Sunday.
I thought about it, and then
There may be
I'm
multiple mixes involved.
I'm no joke. Kind of half-ass talked me into this last night, so I'm enjoying it. My water cooler on the clutch. It's good. It's just VTA light rum with Wonder Flavors orange juice. That's it. Nothing else. But it does actually make a nice rum driver. I wanted to taste the actual brightness of the orange, so I didn't want to use a dark rum just in case. Although I think it would have been better with the dark rum.
I would have went VSO blood orange with the dark rum.
I don't have the blood orange. I have the dark rum. But pumpkin
Try to
cheesecake
make
for
this.
ooh,
Try to make this, and I might vape it.
banana
I
mama.
had.
Actually, I did get some banana flavorings in. I am going to be making
There's
some
no
bananas.
banana in this.
Not in the Bahama Mama.
Oh, it's a Bahama Mama.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coconut, pineapple, and orange.
I mean, I could do it, but I'm not gonna vape it because you said the C word.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think I've only had maybe one e-liquid that had coconut in it. It wasn't bad. It was a commercial e-liquid too. I can't remember now. A lot of people really liked it. I've seen it in YouTube videos a lot.
The surf has a really
No.
good coconut.
No, I can't remember. I've had it only once or twice, and I mean it was not too bad. I think it was supposed to be some type of candy flavor, maybe. I don't remember now. Now I gotta Google this shit.
Hmm. So Fresho 3 came up with that recipe there, Addie, the pumpkin cheesecake. Fresho 3, is that
Yeah,
the one you
Monday.
made for him? That actually sounds pretty good. That's the other thing too we talk about. Like your C word is the coconut, and I know Joe's C word is custard. So it's like, yeah, people don't. Everybody likes what they like and don't like what they don't like. Coconut. Yeah, there you go, Larry. She's going at it, so you can go ahead. Go for it. Gloves are off. Go. She's picking on you in chat. So
I think she needs
Now I
just
remember.
vape some rich cinnamon at like 5%.
we can do that. I have rich cinnamon. Yep.
Yeah,
Just have her vape at 5%.
the e-liquid line I was referring to was Naked. They're I can't remember what the hell it's called now.
Naked had some pretty decent liquids at the time. They weren't like complex by any means, but they were fairly decent for what they were. Now, once you get into DIY, you find out that's better, and it mixes the flavorings keep getting better. So we keep on having like that. Honestly, I just trusted in that in Frank for that Wonder Flavors orange juice to try it, and I tried it yesterday. I was like, that is not bad. I compared it with the screwdriver, and it's like, okay, it's not as orangey as actual orange juice, but it's like a orange juice light. It's kind of what it came off as. But if it was actually the full potency, it would probably have a throat hit like no other. So or have that medicinal taste that a lot of them have. I've been looking for a decent orange because I want to make a nice creamsicle, but every flavor I've tried all give me that weird medicinal note. I just don't like it. So I'm hoping this one will work. Yep. Yeah, that is true. That's true too. Oh no, that's right. I forgot. I did put the VSO bitters in there because Meter mentioned it, and I tried it without it first, and then added the bitters, and it does. It gives you that rindy feel. Those bitters do. That was actually a really good suggestion, Meter. I forgot about that. I was thinking there was another flavor I put in there, but I couldn't remember what it was, and that was after the fact.
Yes.
Tangelo. Is it good?
You don't have it.
No, I don't have it, but is it good?
Me or you used it?
Yes, you.
For his creamsicle?
No.
Ah. Phone call. Yeah, please. No. There it is. Yeah, thank you for the link for the Mixer's Truckers channel. I mean, keeping that alive really matters. I know that it would have actually meant a lot to him that it was kept alive and kept going. That is actually probably one of the most heartwarming things I could actually be a part of, to be truthful. Like when you tried to get me to come on with you the first time, I felt actually kind of blessed about it, kind of thing, because I really did. It's just, yeah, it's Meter. I mean, it's, yeah, Meter. The Meter one too, but for Trucker and Fresh. Mm. The Tangelo is amazing. Okay. It's already in like 6 of my recipes. All right. Is that now the Tangelo is by who? Is that by Wonder Flavors?
VSO.
VSO? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have the Tangelo.
Yeah,
Didn't
you're right.
I don't
'Cause you
remember
can't
seeing
get
it.
yet.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I was gonna say when I went through that list and added them all up the other day to see how much it cost for the ones I'm missing, I don't remember Tangelo in the list, so that
It's
explains it.
not.
Oh, so you bring up a flavor I can't get, and yeah, I get it. Good job, good
Oh,
one.
it did release last week. Sorry.
Now, so is that like a actual Tangelo, like a lighter orange almost flavor?
What it
What was
smelled like.
that? Something made a weird noise. Yeah,
Or hell,
VSO
or
got a lot.
throw some triple second. Oh wait, you can't get that one yet. Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can get it. I don't have it though. I didn't grab the triple sec.
Got the pillar of cheeks out there now.
I see that. Music Man is in the house. Different strokes to the world. Yeah, that was awesome last night. Just, we have so many talented people in our community too. Adam's got multiple talents. I was watching with his video editing and stuff like that. I mean his and just honestly, I didn't know how good he could do when he did the new cover for that song. He's doing the
Yeah.
thumbnail for it. It's just like, damn. Larry, do you have anything coming up this week?
Sunday mixers helping mixers. We're live mixing.
Yep. Looking forward to that actually. Then we got a Tuesday show. It's okay. You'll make it.
Breathe.
Oh, that hit the wrong side, definitely. Whew.
I got a dry hit late yesterday, and it was horrible. I was coughing more than him, and worse.
Why Adam's not in here like he did to me last night. No, I did go in last night with them, but that's actually because I love hanging out with everybody. We went in last night and hung out with TJ and RJ and Adam on Golf T Vapes last night. That was a lot of fun. Then wound up
I was
talking
gonna
half
go
night.
on there. I was gonna be in chat last night for that show, but I got so damn stupid that I forgot. I had so many notifications on my phone because I just ignored my phone the whole night. And then I looked at my phone right before I went to bed. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I
I'm
had like
hoping Larry's
50
okay.
notifications on my phone. I'm like, okay. Guess I missed a few things.
I hope Larry's all right. That actually was a dry hit. That's what I thought so. Because that was a ooh. That
Yep.
actually
I
the
knew
way
that look.
the way he reacted was like it was a mesh dry hit that bad or something. That was yeah. So while he's recovering from that dry hit, at least we know what it is. All right. What do we got coming up there? What do you have coming up, and where can people find you, Lando?
You can find me Lano.so15 on Instagram. Not this week, obviously, but next week, me and Tim will be reviewing a couple Halloween movies since Halloween is like 10 days before we record. So next Saturday will be a Halloween addition to our podcast since it's Halloween this month. So stay tuned for that. You can find me in Tim's Discord, my Discord, Stew Crew. I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm like a fucking virus that won't go away. Bad time to say virus during this time. But anyways, yeah, you can just find me there. Fucking, if you got suggestions for movies and stuff, just hit me up on all my social media. Or if you want to email me, you can email me at whatinthehorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, that's all I got really. I mean, got no life, so there you go.
And speaking of Adam, you actually did that last night. You were about that bad. Adam coughed up a lung last night too for a minute. So, but yeah, the and you'll be able to find in case Larry doesn't. Oh, there's Larry. All right, you okay? You
Hey, we
recovered?
lived.
A Lumi braid hit though. That
I don't.
actually is not far off of mesh with as much surface area as a Lumi braid has. That's pretty close to a mesh hit. So yeah, I can get that.
They're 14 strand braids.
Yeah, so that's it's basically hand wound mesh.
Basically mesh.
Yeah, you all right? That was rough.
Yeah,
So,
that was. I haven't done that in a while.
so you I know you're on Instagram. You're Mandalorian on Instagram. You're Mandalorian on Facebook.
PLR and BC.
ELR and VC. What about Twitter? You don't do much on Twitter, do you?
I avoid that I avoid that cesspool.
Cesspool. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, oh yeah, VC and I always forget those two. But yeah, you can always find me on VC and ELR as an advocate for liberty as well as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and this channel obviously, and break the stigma with Unity Discord. I'm in there constantly, and I try to get over into some of the other Discords, but honestly, my schedule's been very busy lately, so getting any place extra has been very difficult. So busy, good, hanging out with the family, talking to everybody, doing a lot of shows, but it's a good time of year to do that and keep myself submersed because then I can keep myself up as well as help everybody I can. And being on the mixing shows just keeps me creating more content for myself, by being able to learn new things, getting new recipes, getting new flavors. It's an amazing thing to be a part of. Yeah, and drink some water, Larry. Yeah, that's exactly true. Hydrate. We need to see that fresh sized bottle.
It's gone already.
It's gone already. Yeah, yeah. That's the other thing that we can talk about quickly. For the vape community, some products are starting to get approved. Now, I don't know if they're fully approved through the process, but they're getting approved at least to the next step. I'm not sure which one it is. The details are a little fuzzy, and even if you read about it, it's not really saying it's a final approving. It's approved at least for now, which is still a step in the right direction. We're working our way toward it. And once we get the flavorings, the flavored liquids through, if anybody is going to be honest and actually explain what they're and openly tell everyone what the formula to get it through is, we should see everything semi-normalize, which would be very enjoyable for all of us. The other thing is that watch out for that nicotine tax, because if that goes through, none of the rest of it matters. You can have every
Yeah,
flavoring
we're
approved
under.
in it. Yeah.
I think we're under like a 70+ tax here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we got 92% here in Vermont. Fortunately, I live on the border of New Hampshire, and I'm not going to say I lived. If I could walk, it's less than half a mile away. But because I have to drive down the road and cross a bridge, it's 3.5 miles to New Hampshire's, and it's only like 10 miles to the closest shop to me, which is New Hampshire. Either direction. There's actually two of them, 10 miles either way, that way. And so I'm not going to be going to shopping in Vermont. So what we have to worry about, watch your states for regulations, like New Hampshire tried to do the first time, where they pushed the flavor ban to mimic a ban that never really even wound up happening federally, because they were afraid it was going to happen and they wanted to push it before the end of their session. We managed to stop that one. I know I was a part of that, and I was actually very proud of that moment, but we were able to stop it. But watch your legislation, let them know, because it's really easy for them to push it through for fear that they're going to not copy what the federal government has done. And with the new FDA regulations, they don't understand. They might go extremely way overboard with it. So watch your local and your state level stuff really, really closely, for your own state at least. Yeah. Yeah, they did. They did. Exactly. It's admitting it, and it's a step in the right direction. Admitting that they even said it the way it was worded is totally admitting that vaping is safer than smoking. Finally, openly on a document, not just in hearsay or just some, random note somewhere. Yeah, we don't want to see anybody have to suffer through smoking ever again, and cancer, if possible. Yeah, they can't pretend it is anymore. Yeah, I know. There's a silver lining to the fact that the legislation's finally going through. Eventually, this bullcrap will end. But watch that tax. If you haven't filled out the call to action on it yet, still do it, because if we wind up having to pay $5,500 on tax just for a 1 liter of 1 milligram, 100 milligram, that's just a tax, federal tax. Who's going to be able to afford anything? I mean, literally. That
Well, look at
that
me. I can't afford a damn thing.
Yeah. Could you imagine trying to afford a liter at $5,500 plus? It'd be more like 6,000 by the time you pay your state tax and your and the rest. Yeah, that's insane. So please fill out that call to action. It's super important. All right. So if anyone wants to hop in, I will leave this link here. If anyone wants to hop in, I'll be in here for a little bit after this show. But I am going to shut down the show so people can hop over to Grim Green without having to overlap. Yeah, go watch him. He made a safe trip back after an extra couple days. That was, I'm sure, stressful. So I will talk to you guys soon. You have a good night. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Lando, for coming on tonight. It was really nice to have you guys. I love you guys.